Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy Royce the Voice, Orange Click, Orange Leader. Shout out to K-Team. Speak your thoughts or lose your mind. And how y'all doing today? Yes, it is December the 28th. Am I correct? Yeah, December the 28th. It is a Monday. And yeah, we're going live on the Royce's Rant page. We're going live on Royce Massengill Jr.'s page and Herschel's page and YouTube and Twitter. So everybody's on here. I see. What's up, Gina Mitchell? What's going on? Let me give a shout out to Claudia Braston, to Miss Wigfall here. You know what I'm saying? That's on the Royce's Rant page. Everybody's scattered everywhere. So this is what I need everybody to do before we get started, because this is going to be a great show. We've got a great guest, and we've got some great feature guests that are pending. We'll be waiting on them, Mr. Jermaine Dunlap and Dewan Bradleton. He'll be coming all the way in from Florida on his time or whatever. They'll be here toward the second hour, closer to like 9 o'clock. So I do appreciate everybody that's on here right now. What I would like everybody to do, y'all know how I do. I need y'all just to take this 15 seconds. 15 seconds to share. Just share. Press that little blue button right there. Well, it's not really blue. It's on the left. It's right there. The little share button. Share that. Or just start a watch party and just let it run. Oh, thank you, Delisha. That is what's up. You know what I'm saying? Every time I see your name, Delisha, I don't know why. Excuse me. It seems like it says delicious. I don't know why, but I know people probably messed with you back in school with that. Like, hey, delicious. But what's up? It's probably Delicia. You know what I mean? Because you go live. Okay. If you don't know, your dream. All right. Let's see. Yeah, what does that say? You see that, Josh, on the page? Hey, that Facebook cards you go live. Oh, that's okay. That's on Herschel. Okay. Yeah, we may have to click that. I don't know what that means. If you see it. Okay. Yes, I think we'll do that. Or you know what? Yeah, we'll do okay. Anyway, everybody. Let me get this here. All right. Let me clear all that together. Okay, sorry about that, guys. All right, so thank y'all for being patient. Thank you guys for sharing, because this is going to be a great show. We're going to be catching up with some things that happened last week. As you guys know, last week was, whew, I bet everybody had them sweat beads on, with the Diversity Council study session. Actually, it was part 2 of that, and it got a little emotional in there. You know what I'm saying? And we're still trying to figure this thing out. And I'm just glad everybody's coming on to participating in this, because this really is about Tullahoma today. Usually I touch on a lot of other things, but across the land, but tonight it is about Tullahoma, and I want everybody to be involved, along with our featured guest. I'm going to allow anybody else to come in and just speak your thoughts or lose your mind, from the BOA to the Diversity Council, all of that. That'll be towards like the second hour. But so this is what I would like to do. So we have a special guest, here with us in the green room right now, and I would like to say, I had left and went for college back in 2000, and I didn't come back to Tullahoma until about 2009. So at the time I was going to Mount Zion, and that was the time where Pastor Crutchfield was there. And so when I came back, they're telling me they had a new pastor there, and they said he was doing some good things down there, and went down there to check it out. And of course, that was the time when they were building the new church next to the original church. What's up, Sade? Tonight I'm gonna lose my thoughts. I hear you, man. We're gonna give you some time to come on up in here, man. All right, what's up, Hunter Trimble? But yes, anyway, so just heard a lot of great things about him, and in between doing our productions, Josh and I, we kind of went away from Tullahoma for a minute, and now that I'm back, and Tullahoma's in a progressive movement, as I would like to say, and so everybody's kind of speaking up, and I hope you guys continue to speak up. Let's not let this die down. You understand? Let's not let this die down. Let's keep this going, regardless of who's in and who's not. So just without further ado, you guys, I know he's been preaching here for about 13, going on 14 years now. At Mount Zion Baptist Missionary Church here in Tullahoma, Tennessee, right off Washington Street. And without further ado, you know what I'm saying, we're going to bring in Pastor Elmore Torbert Jr. Go ahead and bring him up in here. What's going on?
What's going on, Royce?
All right, man. How's it going? How's it going today?
All is well, man. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Oh man, it's no problem. No problem at all, man. It's good to have you on here, man. It's been a while since we had a guest up in here, and because usually I'll just be rambling, man, and I'll say anybody just come in, and I missed the feeling I get and the feeling that I bring to the people when we have like a scheduled guest or whatnot. So I do appreciate you, what I'm saying, just reaching out. And I'm also, elated to allow you to use this platform to speak your thoughts or lose your mind, as we all say. And that's how we do it, And I come to find out, man, he's, come to find out he was with Omega Psi Phi fraternity, man. I had to get on him in the green room real quick and tell him where it all started, with A506, baby. You know what it is, man. Spring '04, but having a good time, man. We all in the same pale and held, man. And you know what I'm saying? We're all brothers,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, in the brotherhood and, and under God and Christ itself. So man, really, man, let's just kind of get to if anybody doesn't know who you are or have kept up with you, why don't you just give them an introduction just of yourself and then how you made your way here to Tullahoma?
Man, it'll be my pleasure. First, before I start off, man, I want to definitely give a shout out to the Panhandle and the Divine Nine. And then I also want to give a shout out to that beautiful, fabulous, smart, brilliant, vivacious, AKA that we call Miss Harris, who is now Vice President elect Kamala Harris. So definitely shout out to her as she do her thing in the next few days. January 20th can't get here fast enough. But to talk a little bit about me and just to give your audience a brief overview of who I am, man. My name is Elmore Torbert, as is stated, and I grew up in Flint, Michigan. Actually, right outside of Flint, Michigan, in Beecher, where athletics, some brilliant neuroscientists and astroscientists came from. We've had some tremendous athletes come out of Flint Beecher, man. One of my favorite linebackers of all time, Carl Banks, that was right next to Lawrence Taylor back in the 80s, man. Grew up around that. Glenn Rice, who won a championship with the Lakers, man. All that stuff, man. I used to hang out with all these powerful guys, man, at my dad's car wash. My dad owned a car wash in the heart of Flint, North Flint. And so I was down there every day, summer, winter, spring, and fall, washing cars, hustling, working hard, making stuff happen. And my dad was teaching me the value of work ethic, teaching me the value of community, and teaching me the value of giving back. And I was very active in my home church. And that's where I got the bug for Jesus Christ, man, if I could say it like that. I love church, man. I love Bible. I became a student of Bible, became a student of history, became a student of sociology. And so I left there, went to Alabama State for 2 years. I was majoring in theater and left there and went to American Baptist College in Nashville, Tennessee. That's where I announced my call, got deep into the word, became a scholar. I can read, Greek proficiently, which is the New Testament, and became a New Testament scholar. From there, I started dabbling into business. I was a branch manager for U.S. Bank. I don't know if I can say that, or for the 7th largest bank in the world or something like that. And made a whole bunch of sales recognitions and all that, man. I had a pretty good ride. I was married and had 2 kids. And then in 2006, my wife died in a horrific car accident at 4:01 p.m. on July 2nd, 2006, man. Just ripped my whole heart out. And I became a single dad. And 1 year later, literally 1 year later, on July 9th, July 10th, 6 months or 7 months after James Crutchfield Jr. Stepped down as the lead pastor here at Mount Zion called me that morning and offered me to come and be the senior pastor. And man, we've been in love ever since. I hope they still in love. I love y'all.
Yeah.
And so my whole thing has been about let's do ministry on a whole different level. Let's take it to another level. Let's engage community. Let's be about our youth. Let's be about learning. Let's be about growing. Let's go to the next level. That's my whole spew as a preacher. And most recently, I went to Swanee and got my MDiv, and now I'm at Memphis Theological working on a DMin, a doctoral ministry degree in pastoral counseling, therapeutic pastoral counseling and education. So, man, I'm a lover of education, lover of history, lover of Jesus, and I love people, man. That's me in a nutshell.
That's what's up, man. That's a nice little rap right there, man. Definitely a nice little rap. And we appreciate, what I'm saying, your efforts and your actions here and the community here in Tullahoma. Definitely need it. Like I said, I feel like this is a progressive town, man. And but alongside of that, along with that, what comes with every town or every city, there's good parts about it, and there are some bad parts about it, just like every city. But the thing about a smaller town is that the good and the bad, it seems like they're so close together because this is a town of 20,000 people. So in some cases, you may get things like, oh man, like everybody hears everything. If you sneeze, somebody reports it. Like it's everybody knows your name around here, whether you're black or you're white, whether it's through sports or through ministries or just community service. Everybody knows everybody. So I've always loved this place.
Right.
Yeah.
Royce, if I may,
Yeah.
when I got married back in 2017 and I introduced my wife to this community, I shared with her, I said, hey, be careful because there's the TNN, that's the Tullahoma News Network, and that bad boy, still waters run deep. Yeah, you don't know who connected to who. And it travels fast, man.
Mm-hmm.
It travels fast. So I have been well immersed, if I can use those words. I've been well immersed in the small community Southern living.
That's right, man. That's what's up, man. And man, everybody that's tuning in, you guys continue to hit those like buttons. If you haven't subscribed to Royce's Rant, please do so. Please share this. As the numbers looking good, it's great. I just want the community to see this. So if anybody hasn't shared, please share. We try to have incentives and everything. Gina Mitchell, aka Lady G, she's always bringing in some facts every now and then. You know what I'm saying? And so we're really just gonna go ahead and just kind of just kind of dive in a little bit and kind of want to go just do a recap. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen it. It's got over 9.6 thousand views, which is almost as much as the page has on the Tullahoma City government page. And so it was a pretty hot topic. It's a prolonged situation. And we were speaking on the Diversity Council. And so what I want to do with the people right now is thank y'all for sharing. What I want to do with the people right now is I've got 2 clips from the original diversity just meeting, as far as just getting everything together. It's skeleton stages, and I just got 2 clips, probably no more than a minute and a half altogether, of a gentleman. I didn't quite get his name, but the second person I believe was Jackie Duncan. And so I'm just going to go ahead and play those clips in the beginning. And then I'll just have you expound on the beginnings of that meeting and what you guys elaborated on, because a lot of things were in and out with the audio. So we just want to serve justice to it and have you recap that, my man. So give me just a second. And Josh, I'm going to go ahead and press that DC meeting if you guys don't mind. And I'm going to mute my mic with this. Well, it does it by itself. So yeah, I'll check this out.
We can continue to have conversation until the Lord comes back, or we can take Jesus' model, which was servant, and take care of one another and take our town to a better place, to the best place. It's not lost. All is not lost. So we need to stop being 10 foot tall behind a keyboard and come out and have real conversation and dialogue with each other, which is exactly what we're doing tonight. But we've got to do the work.
I think it's very important that this does not become something that is strongly overseen to stifle what people really want to change. Because I think the city is going to become part of the city. then I think this needs to be well thought out and not just a subset of the city government. This needs to be something where there's freedom for people to express what needs to happen to make our community better. So while I understand that, Rupert is an alderman, I think that it's still very important that the basics and the premises for this is something that, and I agree with him, this is something that the community itself has to want to be involved with. And I think we should assure, because there may be some members of city government that are not for this. Just being honest with you. So I think we got to be careful in how this is set up, how we can assure that the voices are heard. And I don't know that it's really important that it's strongly a part of city government, a separate agency under city government.
All right.
Yeah, that was actually former Alderman J.T. Northcutt who was there talking right at that time.
Why did I? Oh, yeah. Lord, that's a strike on my journalism. Oh,
it's okay.
I'm sorry, Jackie Duncan. Y'all have similar voices. I'm sorry, but if you would just kind of elaborate as far as the beginnings of that structure, like how was that? What was it about as far as the people and what they needed?
So that particular clip that you were showing was done, I want to say July 7th, I think it was. It was like a week or so from my birthday. It was like 3 days out from me having a major procedure done. And so we elected to do it at that time and during that day so that we could bring the community together, hear the voices of the community, as well as find out what issues we could address, what major themes could we tackle, so that we could go ahead, attach this thing to the city, because actually the former mayor, Mayor Lane Curley, asked Rupa to be in charge and to spearhead this, because this particular thing, the diversity and inclusion committee or council is actually something that we learned the overarching administrative body that overviews or oversees municipalities. They're requesting and requiring that all cities have these. So it was at that time that we were moving forward, and Lane Curley had put his finger, on that and say, hey, we need this and we need to attach it to the city. So that's why all guns were blazing. That's why we were a go. And so we were basically getting information from everybody so that we could be able to formulate ideologies, so that we can formulate the plan, so that we can make sure that all of our bylaws, that everything matches what the city needs, so that it could be attached, just like the tree council, just like the beer board, just like the art council. You would have had a diversity and inclusion council that would have been adjacent, along with the other 11 or 12 boards that the city of Tullahoma has. And so that's where people were giving their ideas. We were brainstorming, no bad idea, no good idea. We just wanted to hear what the people had to say. And those things that were probably not meant for that setting, we had a parking lot, put it in a parking lot, and we'll come back and address it later. Unfortunately, people in Tullahoma started thinking, and it was even addressed at the study session, they started believing that it was a black and white thing. And it wasn't a black and white thing. It's not a black person, white person. I've been in the community all my life, and I take such and such food so that they can have food when they run into bereavement or surgery, or they've experienced hardship. No, what this was about was making sure that no matter what, people who have privilege can share their platform. Diversity and inclusion.
I hear
That's it. So it encompasses those who are a part of the LGBT community, LGBTQ plus community. I apologize. It encompasses those who are part of the aged or senior citizens community. It included those who were dealing with handicaps or physical ailments or mental ailments, just things so that we could be able to help assist individuals within the community. Because a lot of times what happens when police show up on a call, they're trained to subdue an individual, but they're not trained to counsel with someone, and they could be having a mental episode, i.e. what happened in Philadelphia approximately 3 months ago. So the Diversity and Inclusion Council was to come stand alongside the city to undergird and support to make sure that everybody receives fair, equal treatment under the city guise and be allowed to share in the beauty of Tullahoma. Because one of the things that we must admit, we got to admit this, Royce, and you grew up here, you know, that Weaver Street don't look like King Street.
Nah. Nah, it sure doesn't. It definitely doesn't. It definitely doesn't, man. Definitely doesn't. So let me ask this. So there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that will say that voices are being heard. Nobody's excluded. What would you have to say to those who say that, who see that, to see that there's nothing wrong, that there's enough diversity here already, when they say that the BOA has plenty of diversity, the city board has plenty of diversity? What would you have to say to that, to the ones that feel that they are unheard?
Man, that's a great question. I want to put it into 3 different buckets, if I may. Okay. People are being heard, but it's those people who have been a part of the city government and who have backed or who have position or some influence to be able to be heard. Okay. So as pastor, there have been times when I was able to call up the mayor and say, hey, I'm Pastor Torbert, and I just want you to come by and hang out with me. And I want to talk about some issues. And yeah, sure. No problem. You know, we went in, dealt with some issues, and some things got done. But there were some other times when in the second bucket, you have long outstanding citizens who've never caused anybody a day or an ounce of trouble. They love everybody. Their housing homes are open because we're still in rural South. We're in southern middle Tennessee. So it's not like it is in Michigan. In Michigan, we clank down. Here in Tullahoma, some areas you can leave your door open and don't feel the threat. So some people's houses were open, but yet when they called and asked for help, i.e., I'm gonna call it the Jefferson Street Fiasco, they didn't get it. So here it was, a whole family had to live next to a dilapidated house with overgrown trees and bushes, and with animals carrying diseases and stuff running to and fro, and could have made a whole mess of their grandkids or other stuff. They could have stepped out, and there they are looking at a raccoon because that part wasn't taken care of. The city didn't put any pressure on the owner. The city didn't feel it was necessary to cut the brush down. They just let it stay. And so we had to do a series of calls and say, you know what, we really need your help. And we did it politely, kindly, you know, because we're all neighbors. We love everybody, man. I stand on Christianity, which is love thy neighbor, you know, just as you love yourself. So as we're loving on them, it felt like we were being neglected in that second bucket. Then you got the third bucket where people are afraid and don't want to go and share anything with anybody because, quite frankly, they don't believe that they can trust them.
And what makes you, and I'll stop you right there. What, and I'll add on a question to that before we go into a commercial break, because we've got some things to talk about, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of leading up to it. So just leading into, you know, once you got into Tullahoma and you became the pastor here, and you've been here, you know, for 13 some odd years. But when you did get here, like, and I'll say, what I guess, what were your plans, I guess, as far as once you got the feel of the town and everything? what were your plans as far as within the community, and also even right now, like in between that time, like some people ask like, well, this is coming from, I play the middle, so like this is coming from opposing sides and stuff like that. And they'll say, well, what has he done since he's been here? And or, I haven't seen him around doing anything and all this stuff like that. And like when you talk to him, you tell him I asked him where is he been? What's he doing in the community? We don't see him anywhere. Like how can you answer that to the listeners that say this?
That's a great question. And I want to say I have been a very, I've been very, a big part of the community, i.e., and I'll run down the small resume that this little small church did, who sits on the corner of Washington and Warren. We were a title sponsor back in, I believe, 2012 for the cancer walk that was done at Tullahoma High School. And then we supported the cancer walk. Not only that, we received phone calls like crazy for rental assistance, for electricity assistance. And so we're always at TUA trying to assist somebody with their rent or, with their utilities, or, we're trying to meet up with landlords and other persons so that they can we have a food pantry in the back of the church where people are more than welcome to come and raid the pantry, and they can get whatever they desire, whatever it is that they want. They can get it out the pantry. We're more than happy to share that with them. And if we don't have it in the pantry, guess what? Just a week or so before Thanksgiving, man, we jumped in the car, got some extra stuff, meat, some vegetables, some other stuff, so that they could have food for the rest of that week. Also, earlier this year, we went and a part of our district association, and we passed out 150 to 250 boxes of food through the government program. And we fed a whole lot of folk, man. It didn't matter if you had one knee longer than the other one. It didn't matter if your skin color was one. Didn't matter if something else was. It didn't matter if you was on this side of the tracks or the other side of the tracks. Whosoever will, let them come, Scripture says. And so they came and they were blessed. What else have I done, or where have I been at in the community? I've raised kids in this community. My son played basketball on Tullahoma High School basketball team. When, like Jay-Z said, they went 0 for 82 and looked at everybody else as if they were crazy. And I was a vocal part of the community. And we had fun, man. I sat behind Coach Olive, and one time Coach Olive bought me some popcorn and was like, "Hey, I'm just here for your show." And I was like, "Coach Olive, get ready and enjoy the ride, man." My son just helped with his teammates, and they went to the state regionals, I believe. Almost was at the super regionals just this past March. It was March or February or January or something like that. It was earlier this year, before he graduated and before COVID hit. And man, my son was they were playing against Oakwood or Riverdale or somebody, I can't remember. And man, he scored like 13 points in 2 minutes to bring Tullahoma back from a 19-2 deficit, man, because he wasn't going to go out like that in his senior year. So what have I done? I've done what I would believe would be my fair share. We have opened our doors here at the church to any and everybody, whosoever will, let them come. And we've been doing that before my time. That's why we call ourselves, check this out, the Hub of Hope. It's our job. Provide hope.
I dig that. And I actually see some of our other people. So DeJuan, if you can hear me, just sit tight. Just leave your phone open, because we've got a little more time to do, but he's on time. I hear that, brother. So I know you hear me. I see you in the green room. So just chill. And while you're waiting, tell Jermaine to get his tail up in here, because we'll have them on toward the second hour. He always don't make me call him out, because I will, Manny. Let's go. But anyway, we're gonna go to a quick commercial break, and we're gonna tap more into what happened last week, and speaking on the Diversity Council, and some of the remarks that were made by the alderman, and we'll get to your statement that was taken out of context, and just give you a chance to explain that. So if you guys will sit tight, and in between you guys just share this, and we'll be back in just a minute or so.
Man, thank you.
Just James butter. It's really good on your hair.
My favorite has got to be the peppermint mist leave-in conditioner. It's so soothing to your scalp. I've had dry, itchy scalp, and I tell you, it's amazing.
My favorite product with Jay's butter is the natural flaxseed elixir, especially on the hair that's not mine.
Y'all know what? I really love Jay's butter. I love Jay's butter.
What up, everybody? It's your boy, Royce the Voice, and I just want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Kevin Lambert, aka the Cell Phone Guy. Now has a new website at www.tncellphoneguy.com. He will turn your phone from hell to heaven. He's open 24/7. He'll have your phone done in about 30 to 45 minutes, an hour at the most. There's no other guy that I would rather call locally is Kevin Lambert. So y'all make sure y'all check him out, all right? He will turn your phone from hell to heaven. www.tncellphoneguy.com. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Check it out. It's free. What? And we like free. No way. And they also have tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Okay. Anchor will do all the work for you. No. So it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other media outlets. What? You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. All right. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Royce the Voice, Orange Click, Orange Leader. Shout out to K-Team, speak your thoughts or lose your mind. And welcome back. And this is what I like everybody to do before we bring Pastor Torbert back up in here. I want everybody to share this. We're trying to get this up to at least 50 shares. And if you get 50 shares doing this live, you're going to earn a free weekend stay at the Plantation Ponderosa. Do you want to? Yeah, right there. Y'all see that? Y'all, that's AKA Herschel Williams IV, Dr. Anatomy. That's his place out there. You know, over 30 acres plus. He's got horses. He's got jet skis. You know what I'm saying? So if we can get this up to 50 shares, we're going to randomly pick, preferably a couple, randomly pick, and they will get a free weekend at the Plantation Ponderosa here in Carthage, Tennessee. And that's word to Herschel Williams. Real talk. Y'all will love it, man. You know what I'm saying? He's got the works up in there. So y'all make sure y'all share. Let's get those up to 50 shares. We'll check tonight, and we're going to do a random pick, and we'll announce the winner who will get that weekend stay at the Plantation Ponderosa. So let's get those shares up to at least 50 and see what we got. So let's go on and bring the pastor back in here, producing. All right, man. Welcome back, man.
All right, man. Thank you, man. Thank you once again, Royce, man. And thank you for what you're doing for the community. Thank you for allowing me to be here tonight, man. I greatly appreciate it, man. Thank you. All good,
man. It's all good. So let's go on and get to the nitty gritty, man. Because that nitty gritty, man. Now, as you know, as part of my profession in here, man, I see you, Jermaine. I got you, man. You just sit tight, man. The wine's already up in here. If you want to, you can just go ahead and click on the link and chill in the green room, man. So it'll be an easy transition. We'll be about 20 some odd more minutes, man. So I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate DeWine's patience and stuff. He's all on the East Coast out there in Florida and stuff. So I appreciate him, waiting and supporting. Appreciate you, brother. So anyway, let's get down to it. Now, there's a lot of people that have been in my inbox, and they're just like, I cannot explain for the young man. I don't know what you want me to do. You know what I'm saying? And it just so happened that, you would hit me up, and everything just kind of, worked. Right in sync and right on time. So what I'm going to do, I believe I have some more clips here of the Diversity Council study from last week, and to make sure to see where I'm going to start at right here. Okay, all right, I see you, producer. Sit tight, Jermaine. So I'm gonna play I'm gonna play a clip, right? This is from Alderman Jimmy Blanks, and then I'm gonna ask you how you feel about that particular statement. I think everybody kind of feels the same, but it would be good to get your perspective on what you think he meant, or what you feel what he was trying to say, or how you took it. So we're gonna start with this right here.
Well, you got to read your political waters. Everybody on the board, we're in politics, and you got to be able to read your constituency and read your fellow board members and realize where you are in America. You're in the South, so that's why you get and there's nothing wrong with that. That's where I was born. I'm in the South too, but that is your constituency. So that is why you have divisiveness. You're going to have votes and things that you really cherish that you're not going to win. And I've been there.
Absolutely.
And I was, hurt over it. But at the end of the day, you go on to the next thing. You can't be hurt too bad, or you will not be able to be an effective representative for your constituents.
All right. So I guess you kind of remember that there, and I just wanted to recap it for everybody that didn't see it. What was going on through your mind when you heard that statement, and how did you take it?
First, let me give you the background to where we were in that meeting, which was a special called city board meeting. It wasn't a study session.
Okay.
Just to add context to it. So what we were doing, we were discussing what happened at the study session. We were presenting it before the board and mayor and the people of Tullahoma. And as we were discussing it, several people had spoken before that. And then Jimmy gave this, Dr. Blanks gave an impassioned speech or talk or deposition about how he's a man of privilege and, as a white Caucasian or as a Caucasian gentleman, born in the South, born and raised here, he understood what his privilege was. However, he also understood who his constituency is. And he was basically saying, I would like for progress to happen, but I know progress won't happen because I'm not ready to upset the apple cart. I would rather have a peaceful city than to see progress. And I think he was trying to encourage Rupa, which I think that fell flat. For me, it fell flat. It didn't feel like an encouragement. It felt like a chastisement, like, you're trying this, good job, but, for this area, you should think again and know who you're working with. So I think that was the context. And I think, or let me not say I think, let me be more definitive and say it came across as this will never fly. I want to support it, but I want 4 more years or whatever, 3 more years or whatever the term is. That's what it kind of came off as. And I understand, we all want to, we all want to save face. We all want to, hold ourselves in the middle of the road. We don't want to be controversial. But sometimes Martin Luther King says, it's not about what your enemies do. We'll remember the silence of our friends.
I understand that.
So I think that's
I feel like a lot of people took it that way in a sense. And I usually try to be in the middle with this, but just me being as a spectator at that time, I took it in a way where he was recognizing where we were at. But I also, in my mind, I was saying, well, that shouldn't stop us. We can't just say, well, it's just like one of those things where they say, well, look where we're at. There's no use of even trying. To me, it's just like, I don't care where we're at. Like, you that shouldn't stop you. There's always change is good. And change can be bad, but in this particular situation, being where we are here in the Bible Belt in the South, and we know it's dark history, that shouldn't stop us. It's almost, to me, it was just more like, well, we're in the South, let's get over it. Just, you're going to lose. But we're talking about Tullahoma, right? Like Tullahoma.
And we also have to understand the power of Tullahoma.
Mm-hmm.
When I got here some almost 14 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
all I knew was that it was a word on the sign on I-24 as I was heading to Atlanta from Nashville. But when I got here, I realized there's something unique about Tullahoma, and it's just as unique as its name. This is what's so unique about Tullahoma. If Tullahoma sneezes, if I can quote my favorite philosopher and preacher, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.,
Mm-hmm.
if Tullahoma sneezes, Manchester, Winchester, Shelbyville, McMinnville, and other far stretch reaches communities, they'll catch a cold. Which means that if Tullahoma is on the right side of history, guess who's going to follow? You've got 7 counties at least that will turn around and follow Tullahoma. Now, let me also dig deeper and let me explain to you why Tullahoma should be excited about a diversity council. Tullahoma is literally on the precipice of blowing up. It can still have the small town feel. It's enough land here. Sure, there's a housing crisis, they say, but there's enough land so that we could put some more houses around here. If Tullahoma creates a diversity council, they'll fall in line with cities like Decatur, Georgia, Albuquerque, New Mexico. They'll fall in line with cities like Fort Worth, Texas, Stanton, California, I believe it is, and Baltimore, Maryland. And what has happened with those cities in a diversity council, as they attach the diversity council to their city magistrate or to the city ordinance or whatever you want to call it, to the city.
Yeah.
So I can be politically correct. They saw more industries, come into their communities. What does that mean? That means more industries, more workers, more taxes, more income. Nobody should be afraid of making money.
I hear that.
If it was Sunday morning in Mount Zion, I'd look at the church and say, turn to your neighbor and say, ain't no stranger in making money. I mean, we just got to make money, literally. It puts us in a great position. But also, let me share this, Royce. Tullahoma sits in a prime location. It is a commutable city from Chattanooga, Nashville, Huntsville, and you can go to some of the other cities. Check this out. If we bring jobs, you don't have to worry about crime or other things happening in the community. And if we be honest, the police sirens are always rolling around here.
Yeah.
But if we bring jobs in the community, police sirens will lessen because people will be at work. They will be able to provide for their families. But check this out. I got distracted.
Okay.
Huntsville is a major booming hub for technology. I ain't gonna say who's there. We can Google and find out who's there.
Yeah.
But just think, what if they want to put a facility someplace where they have great shops, great eatery, excellent community, and fabulous education?
Right.
Why not Tullahoma? Amazon, who houses and staffs the world's richest man, is now calling Nashville home. And Jeff Bezos and his crew has just built over 12 different automated centers and output stations where they're distributing things. They're distributing all of the goods.
Yeah.
They're Santa Claus, if I can use that, to the world. It's all happening literally 60 miles from us. What if Jeff needs another location outside in a smaller community, and he want to bring those $100,000, $80,000 a year, $60,000 a year jobs, because you can pack boxes and make $60,000 a year for Amazon. What if he wants to do that?
And I hear you on that, man. And you know, and this kind of leads in here to just going on what we were talking about as far as this last week, and the ones that the people that hit my inbox. If you could just only see these people up in my inbox, like, hey, you know. So anyway, let's get to the before we bring Amanda Dewan and Jermaine in here to add, you know, what they have here, and if you don't mind staying with us too, if you got time when we do bring them. But let's get to the beef of some context that you wanted to get straightened out, and pretty much what I'm gonna do. One more clip to play. This is of course, guys, everything's edited, but don't think I'm trying to cut nobody out or nothing. It's just everybody talked for a long time, so I just tried to stay with what they were talking about. So this is going back to the Zoom, and Jenna just had something. Jenna Allmarker had something, you know, brief to pretty much say, and then it's gonna go along with we're gonna follow it with your opening statement, and then we'll have you elaborate exactly what you were trying to say. So just hold on just a tad minute, guys, and here we go.
That anything that I have said that has offended anybody, I wish you would talk to me about context. I'll just repeat that and kind of echo what Daniel said. I would like to move forward and get back to city business. I ran on a platform of limited government. That's why I cannot support the Diversity Council being a part, and that's the only reason. I'm with Mr. Hobbs. Ernie Hobbs brought up the point. We have 11 commissions, and we've got lots of diversity, and I support the Diversity Council, and I support Rupa and her endeavor in trying to put that together, and I have great respect for that. And I wish it all the success in the world outside of becoming an arm of the government. And that's what this study session was supposed to be out. I want to limit our expenditures and our tax dollars. I want to take care of our employees, and I want to support small business.
All right, and even though and the reason why I guess I didn't play that other clip, because everybody has played it, everybody is pretty aware of what she meant as far as her. She says everybody, you know, I wish they would understand context, and she's been trying to defend that for the longest time. And so this is what we're gonna do. I just wanted to go back to that, and then we're gonna go back to your clip. As far as this goes back to your opening statement, which would kind of goes along with what she is saying about context. We'll come back and we'll have you explain what you meant by saying that, so we can calm the other folks down. You know, if they maybe open up the scripture and understand what it means, I'll have you explain it, and then we'll just talk about how you feel about pretty much her remarks, how you took it, and you know, where you would like to see this taken from there. Just a second here.
Sociologically, it is impossible for a Black woman to be racist because she has only recently, and we're saying in the past 60 years, been afforded the opportunity to rise, if I may quote Maya Angelou. So it is of no consequence and with no negotiation that we demand, request, and require that Miss Jenna Allmarker duly resign or be removed from the board of city aldermen, because clearly when they were giving American history lessons, she showed up for the years of 1861 through 1865, but skipped the classes when the instructor covered 1620 through 1908. To see her use the N-word with no reflexive remorse or an oops, or being a person with a jurisprudence background, it should have alerted her that her conversations would be captured and supervised. But yet, however, her reckless cavalier attitude proved that she is not fit to represent all Tullahomians. Either she acknowledges her error by stepping down and resigning within the next 30 days, or, according to scripture, those in Matthew 11:12, the kingdom has suffered violence, and those who have been violated shall take it by force. We rise to say, resign, or we'll put pressure and move forward to seeing a resignation or a resolve of this matter. We are mobilized and ready to see that she is no longer representing the beauty and the best of Tullahoma by spreading what is historically the worst of America.
All right. And
Man, that sounds pretty self-explanatory to me. But
it
I'm
does.
here to
Yeah.
I'm here to explain. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So let me first start off by saying this.
Okay.
I have absolutely zero animosity or hatred or ill will towards Miss Jenna Amaker. When I first heard that she was elected, I didn't know who she was.
Okay.
And they told me, and I'm going by hearsay,
Okay.
they said that she was a woman of excellent reputation. They said that she had earned a law degree, a doctorate degree in jurisprudence from Nashville School of Law.
Okay.
Now that, Royce, caused me to say, oh man, we in here. We got somebody who understands, who hears, who will be an activist for all persons in Tullahoma. Let me explain to you why.
Okay.
In the early 1930s, 1940s, there was a young man by the name of Z. Alexander Luby. Z. Alexander Luby was one of the first, Black city councilman in Nashville since 1911, when Black people were unable to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Z. Alexander Luby started what is known as Kent Law School in Nashville, Tennessee, where Black men would work hard for their families in the day, and they could go to law school at night so that they could become a legal representative or a legal mind. Z. Alexander Luby was also a mentor and worked side by side in several cases dealing with discrimination with the late great Justice Thurgood Marshall, who is an alpha. So here we have an alpha and an omega once again doing work, changing lives, and blessing history. Z. Alexander Luby, they could no longer afford the school. So Nashville School of Law took on or acquired Kent School of Law, or Kent Law School for Coloreds, was what it was called in the day. So the Nashville School of Law has a great, tremendous history of advocating for social justice, civil rights, for allowing the platform of privilege to be shared amongst all humanity. So that's what I felt we were going to have in the office. Then you start hearing these videos and her Facebook posts and her, pictures and all these things that are alienating a segment of Tullahoma. And it was disheartening for me.
Mm-hmm.
So when I quoted the scripture about the kingdom suffered violence, but those who have been violated must take it by force, those words were written in red ink. Royce, you and I went to a Baptist church, and we all know that when it's in red ink, that's Jesus talking.
Gotcha.
And in the book of Hebrews says Jesus wasn't violent, nor was any guile or hatred to anybody found in his mouth. So what I said was not meant to be offensive, nor should it have been taken as an act of violence, because that's not my makeup. I've seen violence. I wouldn't want that enacted on anybody. I love people, and I love Jenna. Unfortunately, I don't love her ways. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's satirical. I don't think that this is Shakespearean. I don't think that this is something that should be done for someone who represents us. I believe that if you're going to represent us, represent the best of us. And about that picture she took at our family gathering with the Confederate flag, I might be the only one in the talking room who say, you know what, Jenna, have fun with your family. I wish I was in Michigan for Christmas and Thanksgiving to have fun with my family. I really do. Gotcha. I wish I could have went to Alabama to be with my mama and daddy's kinfolk down there in the country, in the hollers, where it gets dark at 5 o'clock and you can't see your hand in front of your face. I wish I could have been there. So I salute her. Enjoy your family. However, while enjoying your family, understand and know that as a representative of Tullahoma, you got to represent all of us. And I don't feel that she's doing that and has done it. And I feel like that she blew it off under the guise or under the cloak of I'm doing this because I'm being funny. Let me share this with you. I told you I was a Greek scholar.
Yeah.
Back in 1994, I was reading the Greek New Testament, and I came across this word in the Greek Bible. The Greek word was politio. It's where we get our word politics from.
Okay.
Politics literally means, in the Greek, it means the changing of the mask. So when you see theater and you see the happy face and the sad face, they would use those to express emotions. It wasn't a real person emotion. It was theatrical. Politics is the place where you have to put on your mask to represent all people. If that ain't what you want to do, if that's not your call, if that's not where you want to be, then go ahead, serve in another capacity. And there's a lot of nonprofits or a lot of agencies, and there's a lot of companies that'll take people with a doctorate in jurisprudence where you can serve as your heart's content, and you can hold up Confederate flags, which is heritage to some, but it is cringeworthy to others, namely me, who knows the history of this. It baffles me how that can be viewed as satirical when your constituents view it as a threat. And so my thing was, I don't want no harm to come to nobody. It's not that serious. I'm like Rodney King in 1992, I think it was. He said, can we all just get along? But at the same time, we are asking, since Tullahoma is looking to expand, grow, be better, do better, to have more and present greater opportunities for our young people so they don't have to go to Murfreesboro, Nashville, Indianapolis, and other places in order to find jobs. They can get it here. We're going to need to make sure that the best of us represents all of us.
And I appreciate that answer, man. I'm glad that you put that into context for the people that were a little confused about, the message that you were trying to send. And so what we're going to do, if you don't mind staying on, we're going to go to another quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to bring on Mr. Brazelton and Mr. Dunlap. I see them patiently waiting over there. Look like Jermaine got some Friday Night Lights behind him. Where you at, bro? I see you. Look at that beard shining. Go ahead, bro. Smile, brother. I see you. Anyway, man, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll bring our other two featured guests in respectively. Thank y'all for patiently waiting. In the meantime, you guys continue to share. We want to see those 50 shares. We're trying to give away a free weekend to the Plantation Ponderosa. All right. So we'll be back in just a second. What's up, Herschel?
G Street Quick Draw Gun Magnet. Unlike the competitor, who imitated and sell similar products with more expensive prices, G Street Gun Magnet Mount is specially designed and engineered to provide you the safest and most convenient experience.
Do you want to access your guns quickly in case of emergency? Do you feel safe in your car and at home? Do you want to be able to hold your guns for any different situation? After our research, we have redefined our gun magnet mount for the market to solve any complaints from gun fans. We have designed and redesigned our magnet mounts, which is made from premium, eco-friendly material, excellent craft, unique appearance with quick draw and quick load functions, and hold flat surface firearms safely and secure.
Order your G Street Quick Draw Gun Magnet today with free delivery at gstreetedc.square.site.
Look, I suggest that you fall in line and show me my respect. I'm the best. None of y'all a threat. This is not a test. I'm upset. Come around here, I'll make you stand on all your threats.
What's up, ladies? It's your girl, Cynthia Bailey from The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I got some good news. Dorbin Salon is back open. I know if you guys are like me, you see I have these braids over here. It's been a struggle during the pandemic. So Dorbin Salon is back open. They sell hair, they do hair, they deliver whatever you need. They got you, boo-boo. Okay? Make sure you guys go show some love and go get your hair done.
Hey everybody, Eddie George here. I just want to encourage you to shop at local small businesses like Dollar City in Nashville, Tennessee, your neighborhood convenient dollar store providing various brands and different products. They need your support. We got to go support them during times like these. Check them out. They do an exceptional job. Support our small businesses. Thank you.
All right. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Royce the Voice, the Orange Click, Orange Leader. Shout out to K-Team Speaker Thoughts or Lose Your Mind. And thank you guys for hanging in there, hanging tight. Thank y'all for continuing to sharing, man. Let's get up to these 50 shares, man. We're trying to give away this. There you go. Hit those likes. We're trying to see what's going on. Just want to give a shout out to BJ Anderson and Miss Bean Braston. We have, we got Gina King, Tina Childress, DeVaris Williams, and 19 other people. It just says that. Daisha Smith. What's up, Miss Braston? Herschel Williams is in the house. Shout out to Nino Black. With Black Thoughts. He's gonna have an interesting show next Tuesday or whatever. It's kind of like a little game show to test your to see if you can keep your card. Keep your black card, I believe that's what it is. That'll be tight if you did a BLAC. But anyway, man, shout out to Nino Black, man. He's always supporting, man. Glad to have him on the squad, on the network. And we're going to bring on Pastor Torbert back on real quick. And just so we can just get back to where we just started, if you don't mind, Josh. All right. Thank you for hanging in there, Pastor Torbert. Thank you very, very much. And really do appreciate the time that, you're spending with us. And so we're going to bring in two more young gentlemen. I'm just letting them get ready. They looking good. I see them. Two young gentlemen, man. You know what I'm saying? I have at least a 25-year history. You know what I'm saying? We're getting old now. You know what I mean? From sports to middle school to high school, from football to track to basketball. You know what I'm saying? Great times. You know what I'm saying? As younger adults, and it's just a blessing to see them grow into the young men that they still are, and being prosperous in their own respective businesses and the children that they're raising greatly. Very proud of these two young brothers. And I want to go on and bring in Mr. DeJuan Brazelton and Mr. Jermaine Dunlap. Slide on in here, brothers. Oh, we got the claps. Platform. What JV said, platform. Man, how are y'all young brothers doing today?
What's going on, Royce?
Man, hanging tough, man. Man, it looks like you got the light of heaven over your head, brother.
Man, thank you for it.
I see you, brother. There you go. Show that brown, brother. There you go. There you go. Go on and represent the shirt you got on right there, Jermaine, man. Go on and represent the cafe right there.
Yeah, my New Day Smoothie Cafe in Nashville.
Already.
1411.
Already.
Yeah.
Already, man. You know, Jermaine's a frat brother of mine, man. You know what I'm saying? You feel me, man? An extraordinary athlete, man. And back in the day, still is now. You know what I'm saying? And I see him channeling through his son, man, and giving them great positivity. And over here to my right, man, we got DeJuan Bratherton, man. DeJuan Bratherton, man. That boy,
Hey, Royce,
what's up? What's up?
Can you say Hall of Famer, DeJuan Bratherton?
Let's give another hand clap to the Hall of Famer, DeJuan, bro. He got ahead of me. You know, give a Hall of Famer right here. You know what I'm saying? He is so humble right now doing this thing, man. You know, that dude had that robo arm, bro. You better watch out when he throw. You feel me? Like, I'd rather use DeJuan's hand than to shoot. Because you know what I'm saying? When he throw that ball, man, the gun better catch up, boy. That boy had an arm on him. Probably still does. I know I see some pictures and stuff of his son, you know, doing some good things and stuff like that, man. But you're coming all the way, you're tuning in all the way from Florida. Is that correct? Or where are you at? Uh-oh, is he freezing up?
Yeah, I'm down in Orlando.
Okay, he's down in Orlando, man. Is it good, man? I appreciate you tuning in, man. I know you were an hour ahead of us and stuff like that, man. But thank you a lot, man. Thank you a lot, man. Long time since I've seen your face, brother. It's been a long time. It's good seeing my two brothers right here. And so what I kind of want to do, you know, I know I spoke to Jermaine last week or whatnot, and I wanted to, what I wanted to do was, the people wanted to hear from you guys. I wanted to hear from you guys. Yeah, shout out to New Day Smoothie Cafe right there. Y'all check that out. And you guys being pillars in the community, you guys have a long history. I know I came back here in Tullahoma back in 93, 94, after hiatus, won a Winchester, went to Nashville, came back. But through that time, you know, you guys have always been there. You've seen the ups and downs of the town, our gains and our losses, our successes and our failures and stuff. And you guys have a lot of deep rooted history here in Tullahoma, as well as your family. And just with everything that's been going on this past month or so and everything you guys been observing, I kind of want to hear from you guys as far as how you're feeling about the progression of Tullahoma, some of the things that concern you, and also some of the things you feel that can be done to push forward. And let's start with Jermaine here.
Well, first of all, just give a history. As Russ was saying, I like the work you're doing. I appreciate you giving this opportunity. But I was born and raised Robert E. Lee, East Middle, East Side is the best, Tullahoma High School. So I'm Tullahoma in and out. Where I also served as a youth minister up under Pastor Torbert at Mount Zion. Also grew up in Mount Zion with Reverend Crutchfield. I'm saying all to say, Tullahoma. You cut me and I'm Tullahoma. Live right behind Grace Baptist. Grandparents still there. And I have to say, the stuff that I'm seeing in Tullahoma, to be honest with you, Royce, it's nothing new. This has happened. Nothing's changed. I remember I had a teammate on my 2000 football team that used to drive to practice with a Confederate flag in his truck. But out of respect, when I had a conversation with him, he took the Confederate flag down for at least the football season so we could be one team, where we end up being an undefeated team and had great chemistry. He respected me enough to at least do that. He respected not only me, but the African American, the black people who were on the football, nothing but like 5 or 6 of us. But he at least respected enough during football season to take it down. What I'm seeing from the alderman, what I'm seeing from from someone that's in a leadership position is disgusting and sickening. I still work and I still go to Tullahoma and I help out in Tullahoma often. I don't promote it, I don't push it, but I'm in Tullahoma often to help the youth, the young kids, and to help any and everybody who needs me in Tullahoma. And just to see her not understand, and I'm gonna be honest with you, kind of what the people back on Pastor, she wants to have a Confederate flag, do you? But you to have the audacity to say that you are a black woman, you identify for a black woman. Let me explain to you about identifying for a black woman. When my grandparents and my great aunts try to vote, their house got shot up. That wasn't slavery. A lot of people want to go back to slavery. We do forget about Jim Crow, don't we? We forget about that. That house, if you go to Lynchburg, Tennessee, there's still bullet holes in their house. When I was the only black kid playing on a baseball team, we played a baseball game. It was me and my mother were the only black people in the stadium. We were playing Manchester. I was pitching. And Dewan he probably has a lot of stories, but I got called when I was on the pitcher's mound. They made monkey noise signs. Noises told me go back to Africa. They did everything in their power. And I think I was probably in the 8th or 9th grade when this happened. And I would never forget when my grandmother actually worked with the umpire that did not stop them from doing that. She worked with the umpire at ADC, and she asked that umpire, why didn't you stop that? And the umpire, I'll never forget. Now, this happened 20, 25, 30 years ago, but it still is engraved in my head and my soul. The umpire said, well, that was kids being kids, and that's ignorant parents being ignorant parents. So what that tells me that I've seen a lot of posts. I see a lot of people, no, Tullahoma's not racist. No, Tullahoma's this. No, there's racism and there is hatred in Tullahoma.
And let me say something. And Jermaine, can I say something? Can I jump in right there? Because I see in the comments that people want to downplay what happened and what she said. And I want us to be reminded of a war tactic called the Stockholm Syndrome, where the oppressor became friends with the oppressed in order to do whatever and say whatever they wanted to, in hopes that the oppressed would take it and they could abuse verbally, mentally, psychologically, physically, all the above, so that they could abuse the person that was oppressed. I don't care what you do in your house and what you do on your time, but you will not pee on my head and say that it's rain and then tell me, oh, it's just a little something. You can take it. I will not take it. No, you would. What Jermaine said, the umpire, oh, they're just kids. Boys will be boys. No, that's abusive. And we will not, nobody has the right to be abused by anybody. And then when you are, and you want to stand up for yourself, people think that retaliation, whether if it's verbal, whether you take a political stance, whether if you say, you know what, I'm not having it no more. Then the bully want to cry wolf and say they want to be violent. No, it was you who brought the violence. And that's what Jesus was saying in Matthew. He was saying in his second sermon, this is his second sermon in Matthew 11. He is saying the kingdom of God arrived, but y'all thought it was a joke. And you started beating up and kicking against the pricks because you wanted to identify with the Roman Empire. And he said, because you wanted to identify with the Roman Empire and you didn't want to disturb the Pax Romana or the peace of Rome, you wanted to take it out on the Jews that were there in Israel, Judea, in Jerusalem, in Bethlehem, in all of those in the Palestinian area. You wanted to take it out on them and then say, you know what? Y'all can take it. It's just a little pain. It's just a little oppression. Don't worry about it. It'll be okay. No, Jesus said, look, what I'm going to do, I'm going to sacrifice so that these people can have life and life more abundantly, so that they will never have to worry about where they fit in society. They will know their place if they're in Christ. That's all I'm saying.
I hear that, and let me.
My bad, Jermaine.
No, you're good. You're good. I like this, and let me give my brother down here on the bottom right, man. He's been sitting there patiently, man, and I definitely want to hear from Mr. Brotherton, just coming from looking at it from you being a pillar in the community, even though you're not here with us physically. You know, you've made some plenty of contributions, to this town. This is your hometown. And you're pursuing some other things on the other side of the state, but your heart still stays close here. And the people want to hear pretty much how you feel looking at it from afar.
Well, yeah, that's I kind of want to echo some of the things that have already been said. It's almost embarrassing to watch some of the things. Like Tullahoma has a lot of good things, positive things that are going for them, but like some of the stuff is like ridiculous. Like just having to like look on Facebook and even on the news every day and see the things that Mucker is saying. Number one, and then I don't know the guy's name that you were talking about earlier, Royce. I think he's the eye doctor. Like saying that,
Jimmy
hey,
Blank.
we're in the South, get used to it. Like what's that about? Like, this is not like 1934. This is like 2020. Like we don't have to get used to anything. So just because you think we have to get used to it, no, we're gonna do something about it.
I definitely understand that, man. And now when you were growing up here in Tullahoma, I know Jermaine was thinking that this, in a sense, this is really nothing new. Were there anything that you experienced, as being a younger gentleman here, growing up here and playing sports and anything like that? Was there anything that you experienced growing up here in Tullahoma, playing the sports or anything, or in school classrooms? And how did you deal with it? How did that make you feel, if anything?
Well, I would like to say first and foremost that, like, I experienced racism just like everybody else. I was also very fortunate that I had some other like white people that were very good to me. So it's not like I want to like rain on all white people, or I'm just strictly talking about racism. And I think that like, I experienced racism on a higher level than most people because, like, in my opinion, I played sports. And when you played sports and you were better or you were good, that was always the one reason they tried to take you down. And so it's almost like playing sports was like a double-edged sword for me because I was good. And so, I experienced a lot of racism during that. But I also didn't experience all of the racism that most of the black people felt because I was good in sports. So if that makes sense to you, how like sports was good and bad for me that way?
Yes. No, I definitely
like
feel that.
right now, right now, most people, like when you hear like if you take like somebody's racist, they love their black athletes as long as they're not kneeling. If they're kneeling, they don't like them. But other than that, you get kind of like a pass. And I was kind of like that golden kid that could play ball, and so people kind of like left me alone a little bit. But it's still like I don't know if I remember there was a big race fight in Tullahoma High School back when I was like a freshman or sophomore. Where like it was whites against the blacks, like down the hallway.
And and I'm actually glad that you're bringing on another side of it, because you actually brought up a point, and I would actually like to speak to all the gentlemen on that. Like when it does come to sports, especially in a town like this where the majority is 90% white, well over 90%, 3.5% black and minorities. I would make a statement sometimes that as black people, as black men and as black women, and I've made the statement last week when I was speaking on rebuilding the family and the black family, that as black athletes, sometimes we used to feel that was our get out of jail for free card, in a sense, like, okay, well, I know if I can get these touchdowns, if I can score these points, or keep, making coach happy, and and the crowd loves me or whatnot. But I don't think people understand the psychological effect it has on us socially, instead of physically, and how do you guys feel about that? As far as, do you ever, and I'll say with Jermaine, did you ever feel that your athleticism was your get out of jail for free card? And did you ever feel that socially you were not being heard as far as everything else that was going on? Like, did you sometimes take advantage of your athleticism just to sugarcoat everything else? And you know where I'm going at. Like, speak to me on that.
I was a little bit different,
okay,
because who my father was.
Got you. Shout out to JC.
Yeah, JC Dunn, greatest man I know. But and that's why. And let me say, for context, that's why I laugh when people talk about diversity board, because there's always been a quote unquote diversity board in Tullahoma. My father, JT Northcutt, Coach Snipes, Irvin. There was a lot of people that was on this board. That D.A. Shelton would call, that Judge Lesinger would call, that Mayor Curley would call my father. So it was kind of different. But this is where yes and no, Royce. Okay. And the reason why I say that is there were things that happened when we played sports that black athletes wouldn't get a pass on that white athletes would. Now, I didn't have a voice then. Prime example, there were a couple of athletes, and I'm not saying they were right by it, okay?
Yeah.
But there were some black athletes who failed marijuana weed tests.
Gotcha.
As Stephen A. Smith weed tests. And they would get kicked off the team.
Yeah.
We had white athletes popping pills. And we would just get them help. Hello. No. I played with them.
Ring the bell.
I saw athletes right there in the locker room popping. And here's the thing. You couldn't say, well, this athlete helped the team and this athlete didn't. No, there were athletes who started. And honestly, and I hate to say this, there were some black athletes that might have been their only chance to get out of Tullahoma. But because their family wasn't well connected and their family may not have been involved, then the coaches knew they weren't going to get pushed back. And what did they do? They kicked them off the team because they might have failed 1 or 2 drug tests. And so, but all along, I'm sitting there looking at one of my teammates. I didn't know what acid was. And I'm sitting there like, what are you putting on your tongue? I don't want none of that. You know, I thought it was like one of them little Listerine things. Come on, DeWan. Hey, we done seen that stuff. So but see, that's a part of racism. That's a part of racism in sports that people, that's a part of racism that people, and you know, and I said a hard drug, but let's even talk about some of the athletes, the black athletes that would show up to practice late and get in trouble, but that same white athlete would be drunk during the weekend. Everybody knows they drinking in the parking lot, they're drinking in Sonic, they got beer cans in their car, and coach wouldn't say anything. And I'll say this and I'll pass it on. This is why I've always had much respect for Coach Clester Winningham. He wasn't afraid to go to Carver. He wasn't afraid to go down to the bottom. I sit there witness when me and Travion was down there. He came and grabbed Titus Simmons and said, "Come on, boy, you got to come to track practice." How many coaches did you see go to the bottom?
Got to give it to him. Yeah.
Coach Winningham did that. So that's where I would say racism played. And I got a pass, not so much. I didn't have the fanfare that DeWan Brazel didn't have. I didn't have the fanfare that Jamil Norcutt had. But I got a pass because they knew if they try to come at me wrong, they would have to deal with J.C. Dunlap. and then if they dealt with J.C. Dunlap, then they're going to have to deal with Mountain Zion Baptist Church.
Yep. And that's real. And you know, and let's just say like this. I want to kind of wrap this all up here. When we're talking about how important you guys feel a diversity council is, and of course, you know, I definitely want to end off with, you know, with our main guest, the pastor here, but starting off just with DeWan, just from what you've been looking at, you know, here, and then it's overall, just you've traveled the world, you've been all over, man. You've seen all types of diverse things. You know what I'm saying? Your family is diverse. To you, and for Tullahoma, how important is it to have a diversity council?
I think it's very important. And I really don't see what the problem is. Like, I don't understand what the problem is to have a diversity council. It's not like saying that, okay, now we have a diversity council that these people get special treatment. Nobody's saying that. They just want a council to be able to look and make sure everything's right. So what's wrong with that? You know, while I get the opportunity, I want to give a shout out to Rupa. You know, I feel like Rupa is going through all kinds of stuff. People making fun of her, talking bad about her, doing whatever. And she's the child of God that's trying to do the best she can. So I want to give a shout out to her and tell her to keep up the good work and doing the best she can. But I personally don't see if everybody's being treated the same and everything's fair, I don't understand why you have a problem with diversity council. It should be working for everybody, right? Why when you say diversity, people just think it's only about one group of people? It's about everybody. There should be everybody represented. So what's the problem?
I hit Dewan is just straight to the point. Like I feel him. Then he put his hand just back on the just like that. Like, what's the problem? I hear you, man. And I appreciate that statement, my man. And you know, coming back to you, Mr. Dunlap, man. You know, you're very passionate with your words and everything. And if there was, you know, one thing or things that you could say about how important it is to you to have a diversity council here and why, what is it that you would say, you know, to the people that are watching and to the ones that may hear this later, all the way down to our BOA?
I'll say this right here. I'm trying to keep it quick. Is that I keep hearing people talk about diversity board and they think they know the plight of others. And then, like Dewan said, they think it's one group of people. I think it's, you know, you heard you had a state senator talk about blacks and homosexuality. I mean, homosexuals. Like, that's the only two things that need to be represented when it comes to diversity. I'll say this, and I want people to think about diversity. It will be disrespectful. It will be so disrespectful. I've been witness to I have 5 sons. It would be so disrespectful if I go to their mother because I got a stomach ache and say, oh my God, oh, my stomach is hurting. So I understand what you go through when you go through pregnancy. I understand what the pain that you go through because, oh, my stomach is hurting and oh my God. So I get your birth pains. It would be disrespectful that I compare my stomach ache to her birth pains. So how dare I step foot into a woman's world in her body after she has birthed a child, and I compare something that's not even comparable, and then say, hey, get over it because I've had stomach pains myself. It's not a comparison. So instead of trying to compare my stomach pain, my stomach ache that may have me throwing up or sick at night, I need to listen, because the pain that she's going through is a pain that I will never experience because I will never have a child. So how dare I disrespect the hurt, the pain, the agony, and not even that, a possibility of death because of naturally what she is. So how dare someone disrespect any pain that I have because who I am naturally and who God has made me naturally. And you want to say there's no racism or this, don't do that. So I say all to say there definitely needs to be a diversity board. And my question to them, what are you scared of? And anytime an alderman says this is the South, that either further lets you know there needs to be a diversity board. Because I'll say this, I would, Dr. Jimmy Branch was my eye doctor, and I even posted it. I'm the one that he helped give sight, but he's blind. So let me help you. Hearing him talk, he sounded like Governor George Wallace when he said, this is the South and we will not integrate. He sounded like, that's who he sounded like, George Wallace.
If y'all don't know who George Wallace is, former governor of Alabama.
Go Google some of the things that he said. And that's who he sounded like. This is the South. They can do that up there in Chicago. They can do it. We won't do it here. And he sent troops to make sure that they didn't integrate. That's who he sounded like. So I think there's a diversity board. Once again, Rupa and everybody else are doing, Snobia, everyone is doing an awesome, that wants diversity, that wants to make sure everybody's represented, not one group of people is represented, and not even the black people. It's about the have and have nots. That there's George Washington, that everybody who is represented, I salute that. And the reason why I fight for that, because I stand on the shoulders of, once again, my father, J.C. Dunlap, and that's what he stood for. He stood for everybody being represented. He stood for if you lived on Carver Street to Dawson Apartments, that you had a voice and you were heard, and that make sure that you got the same respect that people got at Kings Ridge, they got at Dawson Apartment, Eastgate, or wherever.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate that statement, man. I appreciate you and Dewan for hopping on, and we're gonna bid you two just farewell. And I definitely want to close out with the guest, man. And but no, I do appreciate you guys coming on, and hopefully, Jermaine, I would love to see you more, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Love to see you more, on the show, because you're very vocal. People look up to you. People look up to you, Dewan, and the pastor. And, it's just good seeing this quartet that we have right here. And it would be good to see more of that, young brother. So I'm going to bid you two farewell. And I'm going to close out with the pastor here. And all day, my brother. 06, my brother. And then I'm going to open the floor to a couple of more people that were tagging me up. I just want to give y'all a chance to come on and speak for about 5 minutes, and we'll close out. But Dewan, Bradleton, Jermaine Dunlap, you guys have a great night, and I'll be speaking to y'all soon, you guys.
All right, man.
All right, thank you, buddy.
All right, my brother. All right, Pastor Torbert, welcome back. I appreciate you hanging in there with us, my man. Appreciate you very much, very much, very much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. I'm honored.
No problem. And so I kind of want to just end the guest thing off with you before I get back in touch with my people. So everybody still don't leave, because I'm gonna give some people an opportunity to hop in. I saw Matt Sweeten there. I wanted to be fair for him to come in, and but we'll speak on that a little later. But what I would like to do is just kind of have you close it off on why you feel it's important to have a diversity council here in Tullahoma, and just pretty much this is your time to kind of speak your thoughts and lose your mind.
Man, I appreciate it. Let me lose my mind by making sure that I keep it intact, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Gotcha.
Quote, our scholarship fund. But let me say this, man. A diversity council is necessary for Tullahoma because it helps to advance the growth. It holds accountable our public officials. It is not something to be divisive. However, it's something to bring us together. It is to say that Jefferson Street Park should look like Fraser McEwen. They should be identical. It is to say that West Middle School should look like East Middle School and vice versa. It should be identical. It should say that one side of town that has an ordinance to make sure that their trash is picked up and to make sure that their neighborhoods are pristine and spotless, it should also happen in the communities where the elderly have to come out in blight. And that right there is a security risk, because people can have mental lashes and they can jump out of bushes and harm our elderly community. That's what diversity is about. Thinking and looking out and hearing those things that pertain to our aged citizens, our LGBTQ plus citizens, and our minority and historically minority populace of our community, and make sure everybody gets a voice. That's why we need a diversity council, for number one. Number two, the way that big businesses are going, Amazon, Facebook, Nissan, you name it, Goodyear, all these companies, Bridgestone, all of these major players have diversity and inclusion a part of their corporate model. Why would they bring a corporate model in here into a city that does not reflect outside their doors what they're trying to promote inside their doors? It's harmful, it's hurtful, and it's damaging. It keeps us in, unfortunately, 1962 instead of propelling us further into 2032. So that's why we need a diversity council. It's to help us get to the next level. And I believe this, Royce, in order for the best of Tullahoma to come out, in order for the best of Tullahoma to shine, if we stay the way we are and remain stagnant, there's only two positions in life. You're either growing or you're dying. And so if we think that this is all that Tullahoma has to offer, and if we think that this is it, we've reached the pinnacle, then we have mistaken the plateau for a pinnacle or the mountaintop. And if we don't reach the mountaintop, shame on us. We have too many resources, too many good people, and we've got too many kids coming behind us to say, we don't need diversity, it divides us. We just need to make sure that we love each other in the community. If you want to do that, police yourselves, have a diversity council, and let's make sure that we grow together. Man, and once again, let me say this. Thank you for allowing me to be on the show. I have no hard feelings against Jenna. I wish her the best. I want her to thrive. I want her to enjoy her family. I just believe that she does not represent the best of Tullahoma. And the best of Tullahoma is what I saw the last week when we passed out, along with Mr. and Mrs. Jeff Dameron, 48 turkeys and 50 hams to deserving members of this community. Tullahoma, the best of Tullahoma is when I pulled up into a stranger's driveway, got out with a frozen turkey, and I said, "Sir, I'm so sorry for bothering you. I was looking for somebody else, but since I'm at your doorstep, can I give you this?" And he said, "Sir, I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm all good, but I'll take that turkey." Man, that's the best of us. The worst of us is when we perpetuate things that are hurtful, harmful, that are disrespectful, that causes and creates clashes instead of bringing harmony and bringing us together. God, my prayer is, Tullahoma, let's come together. Let's not deal with the Stockholm Syndrome where we allow one person to say it's satire when clearly they're race baiting or they're being racist. Nah, I got a grandson and I want his emerald green eyes to be able to come down here and see his pawpaw and enjoy it and know that this is a safe space for him. And he doesn't have to worry about his brown skin being something that is a sin, to quote Ice Cube. I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you, my man. And I really appreciate you coming on. I appreciate, everybody tuning in. I hope you guys will continue to share, because this moment is a pretty big moment for Tullahoma. I even think what happened last week was a big moment for Tullahoma, because I always said, Pastor, that to me that 2020 was a year of vision, because 2020 was, hindsight. It's supposed to be perfect vision, and we've seen a lot, and a lot of things were revealed to us, the good and the bad, and what we saw here, last week, was enough that I feel that, that sparked, sparked people to speak up. And I'm glad that you're one of the ones that reached out to, speak to the people here on this platform. So we definitely, appreciate your support and everything that you're doing in the community. And I'm gonna bid you farewell, myself, my brother. And I guess I'll be speaking to you, later on this week. And hope you have a good night with you and the family. And we'll be talking to you soon, brother.
Man, I appreciate it. And you know what? We celebrating Kwanzaa, man. It's about group economics, group initiative. It's about the group coming together, the whole family coming together. We all win if we all get in.
Alrighty, man. Well, you have a good night, my man, and we'll speak to you later.
Take care. Blessings on you.
All right. He's Montel Williams, me, bro. So look, as the people are still around, what I'm going to do, because, we was on for 2 hours, but, we got pretty much to the point on everything, and I appreciate all the guests that came in. And what I want to give the opportunity to, but just actually from reading all the comments, I see a few things of understanding here. Shout out to Matt Sweeten. Matt Sweeten's always, a person. He always speaks his thoughts or he loses his mind, whichever one. That's how we do it. But bro, I would love to have you hop on. You know what I'm saying, and say anything that you need to say. Because I'm just gonna keep it real. You know me, I like to call people out in a good way, but. You come on the page and you talk what you talk, and it's respectable because I always allow everybody to talk. And I want to give you an opportunity to click that button, my man. And you ain't got to show your face. You can just put the audio on. Sade, if you're still here, I know that you were saying some stuff. I want to give people that opportunity to do that. But in that meantime, I would like everybody to continue to share. There is the link right about there, that StreamYard right there. All you got to do is click. It's really, really, really easy. I see AOC on the Twitter. Shout out to my Twitter people. Shout out to my YouTube people. Shout out to Steve Berry. I see you. yes, I think this was a great thing, here for Tullahoma. And this is what I want to say. So notice while I'm talking, I'm giving y'all time to come on. So if you don't come on by the time I get done, I'm gonna, bid y'all good night. So I'm gonna say my closing statements and stuff since everybody's here. Please continue to share because we want to give you that free weekend at the Plantation Ponderosa in Carthage, Tennessee, sponsored by my guy Herschel Williams, aka Dr. Anatomy and the Prescription. Shout out to Nino Black and Black Thoughts. All right, and shout out to all the sponsors out there, from the Tennessee Cell Phone Guy to Jay's Butter to my guy Eddie George. You know what I'm saying? And Love and Hip Hop Cast and stuff out there. And yes, we do need more conversations like this, Gina. Great. And so this is what I like to say. I spoke pretty much my feelings on, how I felt about a diversity council, and I'm definitely all for it. And y'all just know when I've talked, I said, I'm really antsy about the government and stuff like that, because it just goes back to what people have been saying, that they feel like that there's people here in the community that don't feel like they have a voice, from Black to white to mixed, to Asians, to Latinos, to the handicapped, to our LGBTQ plus, to our veterans and stuff like that. And this is something that I will say to all of the aldermen. And it is true. You represent, just like Daniel Berry said, because I hold people to their word. As an alderman, you represent the people. So when you say the people, that's everybody. It's everybody. The Black Panther Party said power to the people. And even though that it was internally it was a Black movement because of the things that were going on in the Black community unjustly, but the message as far as power to the people is with everybody going through injustices, everybody going through problems, everybody having a voice. So if there's one thing I can say for Tullahoma is, I see nothing wrong with the people. I see more of the people coming together, and it seems like our infrastructure of our government seems to have a problem. So I would advise that the BOA all get together. Y'all go out and have some snacks or eat out or something like that. I don't know pretty much the code of ethics or what y'all can or can't do, but like, we're human beings here. Y'all go out and have a drink, and y'all get to know one another, get to know where each other come from, so you understand where we come from as people whom you represent. And just like we always say, there's somebody that asked me one time, they asked me, so why do you always say the Black part of town? Or, why do people say the LGBTQ? And just like, it seems like it's all the way just about y'all. And I was like, well, when you feel left out, you kind of hold on to what you have. So you may describe it as just that, but we don't mean that. When you've been unheard for so long, you start to internalize that and say, well, this is all I got. This is the Black side of town. This is our Black pool. This is our Black gym. Shout out to Hunter Trimble. Definitely. Are you in Murfreesboro or Tullahoma? I'm in Tullahoma. But when those things are taken away, you internalize that, and you start to see, well, whatever you have left, you do call it your own. Do I want to see a day where Tullahoma says, hey, this is just Tullahoma? There's no Black side, there's no white side, there's no Latina side, there's no LGBTQ plus side, there's no veteran side. It's like everybody is equal, everybody is working towards something, everybody loves everybody, everybody benefits off of everybody positively. It's really simple. Whoever's got any type of hate in their heart, you need to let that ish go. You need to let it go. But you also need to recognize the internal issues that are going on. You also need to recognize the systemic and systematic functions that are going here in this town and our neighbors next door, from north, south, east to west. Just recognize that and acknowledge it. And that's all we want. That's it. Am I for a diversity council? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm for a diversity council. Do I trust our government sometimes? No, I don't. But either way, like Rupert Blackwell said, she's willing to move on, whether they make it a part of an extension of the government or not. And I respect everybody's opinions and how they feel about it. But as long as you don't use your opinions on why you should have something or not by hate, and it's all good. I just hope that people will continue to use this energy. I see everybody here online, and we say one last thing to you guys. I don't want this to become a moment. I want this to be a movement. I don't want everybody being all fired up because of what's going on right now, or because of what Jenna may have said and what Daniel may have said, or anybody else has said that's caused this controversy or whatnot. I want people to still have that fire when they're here in office or when they're not in office. I want people to raise up your children the right way and to teach them about politics, teach them about economics. Yes, I do believe there needs to be, and this is one thing I'm going to read off that was off on some of the things that they talked about at the first diversity meeting in Mount Zion Baptist Church. This is from you guys. I'm reading from what you guys have said. All right. Some of the things, some of your concerns, these are from white, black, all creeds and colors. All right. Yes, Rob K. Y'all said awareness on bullying, Uber transportation, more recruitment of POC and teaching positions, citizens board on public safety. Community doesn't know what services are available as far as unemployment, hotel to stay for the night, food donations, better community outreach, Black history added in the curriculum, ecumenical meetings, and I was just told on what that was. Streets named after Southern generals like Forrest, Pickett, Bragg, Circle, and Hood. I think I recall Ashley saying how they all kind of come into formation there or whatnot. Access to the community or minority, boards that are supplementing the city government, more diversity in city boards and committees, sensitivity training, systemic prejudices. All right. Stay fired up, like Miss Braston said. Stay fired up. Jenna Mitchell said, not buying it. You can't sidestep the landmines created in the fact she's joined a hate group FB page in Franklin County. Her actions denote a troubling pattern of racism. And I'll just say it like this, Gina, it's, to me, at this point, it really is what it is, what we do as a people. Shout out to Sheffield. What we do as a people, remember, at the end of the day, it's our responsibility of whom we put in office. All right? Our responsibility. And I believe if you have, I'm trying to think if I got that link. There's this link that we have. And if you're on, I don't know, Jamie, if you're on, if you got that link for the survey there, please paste it up on the page or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Kelly, you might want to talk that over with Gina. That is kind of floating around. I don't know what that is, but here it is at the end of the day, you guys. At the end of the day, we put whom we put in office, regardless of how, if you like them or you're not. So that also goes back to us on doing further research of people before we put them in office. We're responsible for that because our votes are worth money. They're worth money, and they decide our future. They decide our children's future. So it goes back to education, educating yourself on politics, educating yourself on true American history, which means incorporating Black history in the school curriculums is very important, and other history that have contributed to the United States of America. You hear what I'm saying? It's called the United States of America. And even though maybe our government tries to divide us, we have to hold by that name. We have to be united. We have to understand our differences. I want white people to understand Black history. I want Black people to understand white history and Latino history, and see, how do we get to this point? And how can we come together to move forward? Because I'm kind of tired of this myself. You feel me? I want to talk about some other stuff. You know what I mean? So without further, as we come to this close, I appreciate everybody for watching. Hopefully we got those 50 shares, because I'm ready to send somebody to Plantation Ponderosa. You know what I mean? You guys, please continue to share this. Please continue to rewatch this. There goes that Plantation Ponderosa. You guys share this to our alderman. You guys share this to our mayor, to our city administrator, to our city employees. You send it to Janice Bowling. You send it to Iris Redder. You send it to all of them. And you let them know that Tullahoma ain't playing with it. We coming together with it, and we're gonna make a progressive, positive change. I don't care if you're red or you're blue. Get over your differences. Understand your differences. Understand each other. And under God, man, I think we'll all be all right. You feel them? There it goes right there. That survey. If you guys, while y'all on here right now, because there's 62 people online. All right, while y'all on there right there, I need y'all to click on that link that Jamie Moore had just had. This right here is a simple survey that takes 5 minutes. And all you guys have to do is just answer some quick questions. It's like yes or no, and then you just describe some of the issues you may have. This goes down to knowing your politicians, if you got any slum landlords, and some issues that you have maybe with healthcare, transportation, all that stuff like that. If you guys really care about Tullahoma and you really care about the movement and not the moment, I need you guys to go to that survey and just check it out for a minute before y'all go to bed. I promise you, 5 to 8 minutes, probably less than that if you can type fast. Real talk. Y'all click that, okay? All right. Kelly Almarker, shout out to you. Shout out to Rod Kill, Jamie Moorhead. I'm just gonna do some final shout outs before I close out. Sheffield, Claudia Braston, Linda Burks, Hunter Trimble. Okay, Hunter Trimble, I'm gonna link up with you. Sharon Johnson, Jamie Hendon, Tammy Jones, Cunningham, Meredith Hickerson, Steve Berry. Shout out, what's up, bro? Sylvia Braston, Kaylissa Fuwali. Herschel Williams, what up, Herschel? BJ Anderson, always, Tina Kennelly, Marilyn James, Sheena Torbert, Sade, I was waiting on you, Dacia Smith, Cameron Howard, and Cameron Sharpton, Jamie Moorhead, Jermaine Dunlap, all you guys. Shout out to all my guests that came on the show, Jermaine Dunlap and DeJuan Brazelton. Shout out to Pastor Elmore Torbert Jr. for coming on to the show. And without further, no problem, Kelly, no problem at all. You know what I'm saying? Without further, you guys, I'm your boy, Royce the Voice, Orange Click, Orange Leader. Shout out to K-Team. Speak your thoughts or lose your mind. We out.